If you're a kid growing up in the 90s or early 2000s and you're a huge movie buff, does anybody else remember the TV show The Critic? So, for those who don't remember, The Critic is an animated TV show from the 90s, which was also created from the same producers that developed The Simpsons. So, The Critic is centered around a film critic named Jay Sherman who lives in New York and has a very famous TV show in the city. And basically, his whole show is centered around him reviewing up and coming Hollywood movies. Now, the voice cast is definitely interesting in this movie because not only Nancy Cartwright, who is famous from The Simpsons, but also John Lovitz, who is famous for being a comedian and in various movies in the 90s and early 2000s, plays Jay Sherman. Now, at the moment, if you're looking at the background thinking that the character looks familiar, that's because this character has done cameos in multiple Simpsons episodes and has a special guest appearance in one of the episodes in The Simpsons, which was the film festival episode. Now, there are a few episodes available on YouTube at the moment, and when I came across this show, what I found interesting about it is that it does take the piss out of Hollywood in terms of the type of movies that they release, whether if it's unoriginal, recycled ideas, or just making multiple sequels just to make a buck from when the original was a success. But what I love about the character of Jay Sherman is that he's a definition of taking the piss out of film critics as well, and especially showing that critics and film reviewers can take things a little bit too seriously when it comes to movies. Now, for myself, while I do love reviewing movies and sharing it on social media with everyone, I do understand that everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I'm always open to hearing people's thoughts, and that's okay. Like, I mean, people like certain genres and certain movies, but what I love about the critic and the Jay Sherman character, it does reach a point where he watches so many ridiculous and really stupid movies that it just reaches a point where he loses the enjoyment of watching movies, and that it just turns into a 9 to 5 job for him. Now, this TV show only lasted 2 seasons and was cancelled. And what I found interesting about the show from the 2 seasons is not only it pokes fun at Hollywood, but also pokes fun at movie critics to a point where they become way too technical and just really take things too seriously, and pokes fun at famous movie critics like Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert. So yeah, if you're a movie buff who just wants to see a TV show where they take the piss out of movie critics, I highly recommend The Critic, the animated series. It's one of those hidden 90s gems. And if you're a movie buff like myself, guaranteed you'll definitely enjoy watching this TV show.